All right, welcome everyone at the next multi-network community sync. Today, September 25th. And we want to talk about KEPs, some that Lionel is driving related to multi-networking. Yeah, Lionel, you go first.
Yes, so this cap is about the resource claim status for that the TRA driver will report. So in there, we have some standardization of network interface status, where we can report the IP addresses, interface name, and generic data that any other type of devices driver could use. Um, so I created this last week, and I know that there is another cap that is about reporting the uh, I don't know if it's resource or device in the pod status. I know that it is only for the health of these resources, and I'm wondering. I know that Antonio also put some comment about it if there was any overlapping, but I'm wondering if we could maybe try to, instead of having the resource claim status, having the pod status instead. I don't know if it's
That's in
an idea.
enhancements. You know, where was that? Which one? It's PRs, right? Should we put request?
Uh,
Promotes
I will send it in the chat. I think it's this one.
here. Extend September 26th, so basically tomorrow. Oh, steering committee election. No, that's something else. Okay, never mind. Resource allocation. Extend pod resource to include resources from dynamic. This is
If you check
the.
the very latest comment from Antonio, he's saying that something about conflicting and with the PR that I opened and with the KIP in general.
Oh, yeah, so maybe I'm not sure who's that. Yeah, that's out of nowhere. I don't know. I don't think anyone of you aware of this. Anyone in the room?
No, unfortunately, no, not this new cap.
Adrian Chris. Isn't he Adrian Chris? Isn't Adrian an Intel person? Maybe.
I think he's from NVIDIA if you check his profile.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. So those are NVIDIA folks that are trying to add something. Okay. So pod resource API for DRMH. Where is the discussion link? Oh, this is the one. Okay. Is that one merged or that's so the cap got merged? Is that what it is?
Yes, it is. I haven't read the cap, but I saw the comments from Antonio, and I know that there was another cap that is even different, where you can report the health status in the pod for the resources that you have claimed. But the cap was saying in the non-goal that it should be only about the health and not about the other properties of the resources.
Proposed API. So I'm confused about the pod resource namespace.
This is a gRPC API, right?
Yeah, kind of confusing. Container resource, container memory, container device, topology, info, NUMA node. But where does it belong to? Get resources, get. Is that pod spec? Or this is just calls to the API. What APIs is he expanding? Pod resources gRPC service of the kubelet. Oh, okay. So that it's not the API of pod, it's just the gRPC for kubelet calls. That's what they want to expand.
Can you check the goal of this? It's a bit above. Yeah, the second bullet point.
Summary. Pod resources API, and he meant the gRPC, right? API for the kubelet calls. This, right? So this is more about the very low level. This is about expanding very low level the calls, right? Between expanding, what sort of calls can be made on the kubelet layer. That's what it is. That's why those are messages, right? Those are gRPC calls. I would imagine from our point of view, this is something that could be useful, because then instead of our drivers or controllers updating any of the other objects, that could be automatically returned to kubelet or the driver, and it will automatically update the things for us. Maybe I think that's the hint that that's the capabilities this could do for us, right? You see that, Lionel?
Yeah, but this would mean it's only CNI, or and if can you check the goal again, the second bullet point of the goal section?
That's fair. That was rated to the CNI. Trello mode to allow node monitoring agents to know the allocated DRA resources of pods on a node. Oh, okay.
Check the second one now.
To allow the DRA feature to work with CNIs that require complex. Yeah, that's a interesting approach. Why did it got merged? Where was Antonio with this one? Very interesting.
Yeah, he put a comment on it today.
But this got merged, so basically he has a full approval on he just implements things, right? That's kind of interesting that networking team, he's trying to do this, and SIG networking was not even. Yeah, I assume he got approvals from SIG Node only, and he's fine.
Right.
Yeah, I think Antonio's gonna sort this out. It's like the first time I'm hearing about this. I think we could have that person come around and kind of explain what he has in mind, and basically how that fits into the idea that we have. So basically, we want to push the. We were thinking of using DRA to kind of end the NRI, the right to the networking. Now DRA folks trying to go other way, and they just keep pushing into CNI to do some of the things. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Disconnect. That's what it's kind of when you're silent. I'm not sure how to take that, Lionel, and I assume Antonio's gonna be pushing back on any and all changes if they try to push changes to the CNIs and kubelets related to this, because that's not kind of agreed with us, at least, right? We have some ideas around this, and we are pursuing those, and now they just out of nowhere just try to push something completely different, right? Not to mention they only mention RDMA, so they don't basically care about networking here. They just care about like having basic RDMA support, and that's it. So that it satisfies NVIDIA and their use case, which is not okay, right? Okay. I wouldn't. Yeah, let's see how that will pan out. Going back to your Cap about the. But does that in any ways interjects with this? Are you saying that that's the case?
I'm saying that
if we have
the API from kubelet to call CNI status, then kubelet could update the pod status instead of the driver updating the source claim status. It would be better for us, I guess.
That's
it would
fair,
be
but I think
the
doesn't
original
change
cap.
the required changes in a status anyway, right? Your cap, right? Only the concept of who's doing the update, right?
Yes, but it will be also where the data is stored. It will be as in the original cap because the pod status would receive the interfaces list in a more generic way, of course, but Kubelet would know about the IPs for the secondary interfaces, so it could update the pod status.
Wait. So keep in mind, you keep bringing up pod status. Are you referring the gRPC call, or are you referring to the pod status field in the pod?
Both. Like Kubelet would be able to know the status of the CNI via this gRPC calls.
Right. But
So
keep in mind, that doesn't mean he's not proposing changing the pod status API KRM, right? The CRD, the base object. He's not proposing any changes to that.
Yeah.
And as we know, I'm not sure, but keep in mind that pod IPs, the plural, cannot be changed.
No, but not pod IPs. Sorry, like pod resources dot whatever pod IPs, like secondary interfaces.
Right, but are you saying so we would add it to somewhere else to the pod?
Yeah.
Is there other places where this can be added, or that's what you say?
Yes, there's another cap about that.
No, I don't think he calls that out. He calls about only changing the gRPC calls only.
Yeah, but
so
since the gRPC is available, why not having this in the pod directly instead of the resource claim? That's my point.
That's where we wanted to do. I doubt that anyone was gonna allow them. We wanted to do that, right? And they pushed back on that. I doubt anyone's gonna allow to or agree on, unless it's NVIDIA and it's DRA. So maybe they can do whatever. Maybe then. but this is what we try to do, right? Add some status into the pod, right? In any way, and that was pushed back. Maybe the way we wanted to do it, we wanted to add a new field, right? Networks, right? Are you saying that that's and the cap that you linked, the cap from NVIDIA, it doesn't even says anything about updating the pod spec or status, that API. So that's why I think whatever you have, this guy is still valid, right? Because they don't mention about that, and the only kind of difference here would be who is or where from your new fields are updated, whether it's the driver or the or kubelet.
Right. Doug mentioned this topic during the working group device management. There's on a Slack record, if you want, where John is talking a little bit about that. He created some message on Slack. And there is this cap also about the array that reports the health status for the device attached to the pod. So maybe instead of having only the health status, we could have the network status at the same time. But I mean, it was just an idea. Instead of having it in the resource claim, we could have directly in the pod status together with this health status.
Gotcha. Yeah. I wonder, because yeah, I see John mentioning some pod status. I wonder what he has in mind. I'm not sure what is in the pod status per se.
It's the second. It's the last link that I sent you.
There is
you can
something that I
have-
can share. I have an example. Last link. No, I have the Slack channel. I got that. What else you have in mind?
The latest link
Oh.
that I sent in the chat.
This guy. Oh, stop sharing. Share this. And that got merged. I see. Mm. So
Lionel, isn't the health status as any other life cycle of the container and the pod? Ready?
no, that's true.
not-
That will be the
Yeah.
case, but we want that, right? Because like that's part of network will be part of. I think that's what I think John calls out, right? I think this is what Mohsin you might be bringing up, where you can have, let's say, a device that requires preparation, what's not. It doesn't have to be right away assigned to a pod, and the status of that can go into the claim, right? But then when that's finally get assigned to a pod, this is where I think this what I'm sharing would go in, right? The status of that will go here. I think that's what John calls out, right?
No, that's. I mean, it's just to maintain the state of the container and the pod, depending on what if they have all the things that they need to have, like any resources. So I don't know. This is not within what you trying to work out, Lionel, about the additional data related to the net devices that the pod,
Yeah.
although they are all called status, but they are different.
Yeah, but status can be the health, and then like you have some condition, you have like reporting if it's healthy, and then what is the state of the network device, and you can report also what is the state in terms of what's the configuration of it, like which IPs, interface name, etc.
Yeah, exactly. That. I wonder whether we could just reuse this field since they're adding some new fields to the status. I wasn't aware of this. So if that's the case, then that would be better for us. I prefer using something on a pod rather than, and if we are so easily adding stuff to pod status now for the array, I would write on that rather than the claims themselves. So what do we have? We have resource health conditions, resource health conditions. So it's just a matter for us if we can have our own type of condition. That could
Just
be enough.
I haven't tried that much this cap. I haven't had time, but I think this cap is for on container level. It's not on pod level yet. We need to
On a container level, but it's added to. It can't on a container level. What do you mean? Where is that then added?
like
Pod
on
status
the
here. Pods no. Here it is. Pod status dot allocated resource. That's global status of the pod.
yeah, but if you check the implementation,
Oh,
I
so
think if you check the implementation, it's different. But I haven't had time to.
Interesting.
But that's just an idea because now we are going into resource claim status. But maybe if we could go back as originally stated in the multi-network cap, going to the
Yeah,
pod status,
exactly.
maybe it
To
would
the
be
pod.
better.
If we are adding those, exactly what you're saying. If they already added those, let's just borrow those things. Allocated resource list. Where is the resource list object? Oh, this is just allocated resources. Oh, okay. This is the existing element. I see. And then the proposal is to introduce additional fields. Okay, so basically that one is the same as it was, but resource status, resource requirement. And resource health. And then those are just conditions. So that will be kind of awesome, having a conditions where you can provide status for the resource, right? It's kind of hacky, but container status. Oh, this is a container status. That's what you refer to. Container state. Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
So it's below its line 3100.
So container status.
It's at the bottom of the container status.
No, but that's the resource. Where is this guy used? This is used in here. What is that?
You can see the line 3000.
Right. It doesn't, for some reason, doesn't click for me. Something's wrong with my browser. Condition container state.
It's in container status. You closed it.
Here.
Yeah.
Mm.
And this is per container. This is not for the entire pod.
Mm. Yeah. But they have now claims on a pod level as well, right? They allow that. So how they support those?
Yes, but I think there's still works to do around this. It's quite complex to track everything that is reported.
Right. Okay. Who was adding that cap? Who's on? That was Sergey was adding this from Sergey. Okay.
He's from Google.
Yeah. I can reach out to him and see, or even John. I would call them out. What's what they plan to do with those? All right. Yeah, I see. Yeah, that can change our plans to the other cap that you have, right? And that's something that, yeah, whether we're gonna do. I agree on you.
Yes.
That this status that's already there, that's something that maybe can we hijack that and write on this? We don't have that one, right? Overlapping. This is some discussion. Let me.
For this cap that you're writing about, if you check the known goals, it's written that the other things that things that are not about the health status is not covered.
Oh, so just the health. Okay.
Known goal expose any other device information
Yeah.
beyond health.
Any other? Okay, so that's why. So maybe not. I see. I'm not sure though how that then is gonna kind of work towards our devices, network devices, right? Okay, we just always say true, right? I assume. But interface, yeah, I don't know. Really strange. The array, I see. It looked like kind of the array coming out of hand. At least that's my feeling. I don't know, unless they have some plan around it, but I don't think so. Yeah, let me reach out to John and see where that's from the discussion, and then I will try to kind of get maybe some additional info from him on this one. Let me just call out what you just said, right? Oh, I closed that. Open. Maybe do this. All right. Anything else around this one, Lionel?
I don't think so. Just it's in review for now and getting some comments.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, just there is a network structure inside. If you have any concern or any things about it.
Yeah,
would be good.
I apologize. Last week I'm just catching up with coming back from the longer leave, and I didn't have time to kind of focus on some of those things. Sorry about that. I will try
No
to look
problem,
at this
yeah.
week, and try to leave some comments if anything. Okay.
Yeah, and thanks. And tomorrow, in the SIG network meeting, it will be brought up.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. This one.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's good. So on that note, I was wondering, can we mention tomorrow as well this guy about the the known label for service? What do you think? Should we? Because it's kind of we are at the deadline. I saw team saying let's give it a breather, let's think about it again and what's not. I saw then Antonio as well saying that there should be at least 2 implementations. So kind of on the last bit, if this is going to get added, Google definitely is going to use it, right? We are going to use that for our multi-networking approach that we are doing. And the question here, I assume Doug is not here. Lionel, from your side, you're probably gonna want to push this then inside the working network plugin group, right? Multus side, right? Or do you think something internally you're gonna use that?
Not internally, but in open source, I will create a project that will use this.
Right. So
label
definitely
list.
there will be those 2 at least, right? So to kind of at least satisfy what Antonio is asking, at least 2 implementation existing using this, that will be the case, right? Because we will use it, and then on your side as well, there will be an implementation, right? So should we bring this up tomorrow as well to kind of get this a discussion and to see whether we can get that merged?
Yeah, sure. I can bring this.
Yeah, let's add it on the agenda item and try to, yeah. Because that one definitely I am status and info. Okay, let's add the other one. How did you call it? DRI. I can bring it up, or do you want to drive that tomorrow?
Anything is fine. I will be there. So
Okay. So I will maybe call it well-known. This annotational label.
an annotation, I think, or maybe a label because the proxy service proxy. Yeah,
Is label.
yeah, it's a label. Yeah, it's a label.
Well-known label on a service. Okay. Disable endpoints EPS controller. Disable built-in EPS controller. Okay. So yeah, that's so is there anything else around that one that we need to mention?
No, sorry, just disable or just the controller, the current controller should ignore when that no label is set.
You're right. It's
Uh,
how
they
to how
could
to
there
how to
could be
phrase that.
several
That's a fair
controllers.
point.
Yeah, yeah.
Ignore by. Okay, you're right. Yeah, ignored by built-in APS control. Okay. Yeah, you're right. So let's, because I would like to this one to get pushed in. You already have the change in, right, Lionel, as well, or no?
What do you mean?
The change in the code,
I think I
or not
need
really?
to. I have the code, but I need to move some tests from end to end to
Mm.
uh, integration test and have the what's it called? I remember the feature gate. I need to have the feature gate, but it's very easy.
Mm.
I need to test the feature gate also.
Okay. All right.
And just mention both KEP are aimed for 1.32.
That's December, right?
Yes, around December.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I want to bring this up and get this sorted, right? I think the resource claim, it's considering how the whole thing is churning quickly. It's crazy. I assume that's probably one thing. What I'm more concerned about, because this is a small win for us, and that can be immediately kind of pushed towards that. So that's why, and I don't think it's a bigger kind of change, right? That's something that definitely we can. I'm counting on the other one that we can get that one in. But yeah. Do you know what's the deadline for that? I think I might have mentioned this.
11 of October.
Oh, 11 October. Okay. Okay. Anything else around that one? The known label. Any other comments? And to that one, Lionel, do you think you're just gonna revive whatever I think was done in Multus? Is that is that your goal, or do you want to kind of create something from scratch?
I think I will
I think Tom all
create
created some initial
something.
version of that.
Yeah, but this was to replicate what Qproxy was doing.
Oh, right. Oh, you're correct. Yes, because he was reusing IP tables to do that, to do the implementation for this. That's true.
Yeah, and I tried to do that with kping, KPNG,
Uh-huh.
and it was working. You could have services on top of secondary networks using kping. But my plan is to have different services because I have different use case. I want to remove the NAT from the service, for example.
Oh, gotcha.
I have a POC for this kping thing, and also for this non-NAT if you want. It is using Gateway API.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let me see, Landry.
So the idea was to run the service inside the gateway of Gateway API.
Right.
And
So the
in the
service
gateway of
is
Gateway API,
multi-network. Yeah.
yeah. And in the gateway of Gateway API, you have this infrastructure field where you just put the secondary interfaces. So far, annotation and labels are supported. So Multus works with annotation and labels, so it was easy to do that.
So wait, so you had a cluster IP service on secondary interface. Is that true? In that you're in the POC that you.
Well, I it's more like a load balancer traffic service that was connected to a gateway or traffic generator that use some kind of MetaLLB that is running inside the gateway of Gateway
Right.
API. So yeah, here you have the picture where you have the gateway of Gateway API in orange, and then you have the router bird that is running, that is like a MetaLLB, and then you have gaping inside the gateway also that is load balancing traffic, and everything is on top of secondary networks.
Gotcha. And you want to go for to enable stateless stuff.
Yeah, stateless and NONAT, and I want to have a L3 and L4 route also. I think you want that too.
Yeah.
If you are interested, there is a conversation on Slack about that.
On L3?
Yes.
Or in general? Oh, okay. Is that for the Gateway API
yes.
area?
Yes.
Yeah, can you tag me there? Yeah, I'm interested.
I will send it in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, some of the points that were in this discussion are also in the conclusion on the README page that is on my talk, like having something about listener, because listener is for this layer 7 probably.
Yeah, the listener needs a change. I think I talked with Rob about that one as well. It's heavily L7 only. That's annoying, and requires or not even L7 as well L4, because a port is a required field, right?
Exactly.
Right. So and same for protocol, right? So those are things that kind of why they are required. If again, they should be optional, but that's
exactly.
Okay. Anything? Are there any other topics to discuss? I think from this, I think next step for us is to kind of drive Lionel to the resource claim status, right? And I think we need to finalize on a kind of design doc for the how we want to kind of move on with the multi-networking, right, in OSS, right? That's, I think, the goal to kind of solidify and have a concrete kind of definitions. Right now you have your POC. We need to kind of write it down in some sort of doc to which we then convert into a README on the repositories that we created, right? To kind of identify, okay, what this controller and the API will do, how that interacts with the array, how you can use it, all that, right? What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. That's what we need to do. This is the next step that we need to do, I think. And checking the scheduler also, because there is this resource slice that I don't really know how to describe it for our use case, but maybe someone is looking into it. You could have
resource. What is that again?
Resource slice.
Oh, slice. Oh, okay. I see what's okay. Yeah. I'll just you say
resource slice and scheduling thing. Yeah, it's related. Both are related, I think.
And what about the scheduler? What do you have in mind?
Because when you publish this resource slice and you request a resource, the scheduler will use this resource slice to find the node where this resource is available. So both things are related. I mean, I'm not entirely sure how it works. It's quite complex, I think.
Gotcha. All right. In terms of the design, I think you have the most kind of context right now, but I definitely want to kind of support you, and where I can, I will try to kind of get the general gist of what I am understanding, and then you can kind of review that, and we can together kind of come with the way with all the details that I'm missing of the doc. The problem is whether I'm gonna have time to kind of look into that. That's my problem all the time. So I will see. I will try to maybe kick off something this week, next week, but yeah, no promises on that one.
Yeah, sure. I can review it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to KubeCon in November?
I am not planning to. I don't have any talks like from our company. We always have to have some talk to kind of be present. So I am not planning to be there. So unless something changes, I will let you know. If there will be some chance to go without any kind of talk, but if not, then right now I'm probably not. I'm not gonna be there. No.
Okay.
This is Salt Lake City this year, right?
Yes, in Utah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's quite close. So that would be nice, short, but yeah, we'll see. I will definitely update if something changes, but for now, I am not planning to.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, any other topics?
Nothing from my side.
All right then. If nothing else, then let's call it. Let's give you 10 minutes back, and let's meet next week. All right, thanks everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks.